Welcome back to the show. Portland lost their 6th game in a row. Only teams worse than the Blazers in the West are in the Wembanyama sweepstakes, Houston and San Antonio.
That's crazy.
Here's Dame. Take a listen.
We've pretty much fallen out of the race for the 10th spot, unless we go out there and win every game, when you really look around and really look at it truthfully. So, right now I'm just not ready to not play. Last season I missed, I think, 52 games or something like that. So I love to play. I love the competition. And, I just haven't been ready to give that up. But it does come a point in time where you look around and you're like, when do you stop putting your competitive nature out front?
Eek. Or she's talking about shutting it down this year.
Right, because I think a lot of people might take that quote and think he's saying, maybe I'll move on.
Yeah, no, they're asking about this season.
Right. But look, and I respect Dame's competitiveness, his loyalty to Portland, and, just his lack of desire to join a super team. But if he wants his legacy to go to another level and to be respected, I don't think he thinks he gets the respect he deserves. I think he does. He made the top 75 team. I think he gets an adequate amount of respect. He doesn't. But if he wins a ring, though, he goes up a whole nother level. And I get it. You don't have to join a super team, but he does need to go somewhere where there's another star where he has a legitimate chance to win.
Go ahead, Antoine.
Well, my problem with Dame is at some point in your career, you got to kind of weigh everything. Obviously, we know he's made the money. So he's made all the money he can make, possibly.
Yep.
Play for a title.
Yep.
Put yourself in a position to play for a title. You've been nothing but loyal to this organization. I'm pretty sure they can put together a deal for you if they can get some young talent back and get yourself a chance to win a title. You got to want to win a title.
Right.
You can't just talk about it. Then they're not going to be able to do it. The West is too tough. Obviously, he's going to put up great numbers. He can continue to be an all-star. But if you want to really win, I think the organization will go, if he goes to them the right way.
Of course.
Absolutely.
No, I think they would do it.
Because they got young players
Portland
that
has
would fit
failed
with the young.
Flatly, Portland has failed him. Well, the 6 worst teams in basketball are, by record, San Antonio, Houston, Detroit, Charlotte, Orlando, Portland. That's unfathomable.
But have they failed him, or has he just? This is what he signed up for.
But he did. They have done a bad job. They have had a decade of Damian Lillard, and they have never once constructed an even semi-adequate defense. They have had a decade of Damian Lillard, and they have never once acquired an even semi-adequate co-star. And Dame,
You don't think CJ was?
No. If CJ is your second best player, they had LaMarcus Aldridge very early, and then he left. And CJ is a nice guy and a valuable player. If CJ McCollum is your second best player, you cannot win at the highest level. No disrespect to our friend CJ. I think we're seeing that in New Orleans. Right now, he's the second best guy, and they're falling apart. So listen, I would like Damian Lillard. He sat down and talked to JJ. It was a good conversation. I respect what he's talking about. And he's like, I have a real life. I like it. A lot of these things. I think Kevin Garnett is the person who should talk to him. He still has a great relationship with Minnesota. He tried to buy the team.
He didn't want to go.
He didn't want to go. But what did that mean for him to then be able to play in 2 finals, play on the biggest stage, play with other great players, and see what that's like? Because here's the other thing. Dame has, after this year, 4 years, $214 million left on his deal. They're not going to be able to build around him.
Right.
Unless they get Wemby, unless they end up with it. And I'm telling you I tried to find the trades. Tobias Harris, Maxey, and all the picks Philly can give up. And Portland gets to reset. Jaylen Brown, maybe. A sign and trade there. The thing is this, there's a lot of teams that could trade for him, he's going to be in the exact same spot. Chicago could trade for whatever, then you're in the same spot. For teams that could contend. I want to see Damian Lillard, and Dame talked about this, Wilds. It's is it what I want or what the folks who watch us want for me? And I get that. A little of it's selfish, that I want to see him in big games. But they're not coming in Portland.
Well, and he's not going to get the love he wants. Like nobody looks at KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce as you said. Nobody looks at them as when they were the guy, they couldn't lead a team to a championship,
which is the reality. But that was part of it.
But nobody, when you think of those three guys, you just say, man, they won championships and they were Hall of Famers. That's what people would say about Dame. I think he doesn't want a cheap ring or an easy ring, but it don't have to be an easy ring.
Well, you can't get it done by yourself. You got to think about it.
Right.
You can't get one thing about Dame. He's always been the 1A option. Is he willing to go be B and C? Now, if he wasn't to be a B and C option, he might can get a chance.
I don't know that he would have to be a B. I think it could be 1A and 1B.
So where do you put it? Like with Bradley Beal?
No, that's a disaster.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like
Philly.
No, because Philly's too good.
Well,
Philly people might look at that. Oh, Embiid, Harden, and Dame.
Hold on a second. Wait a second.
It's too much.
What if Philly goes out in round 2 to Boston this year, and they've never made a conference finals? Dame's made a conference finals. They haven't. Nobody's going to say that.
I think he would view that as a super team.
Okay, but then we're running out of places.
Well, that's the issue.
We're running out of places. Now they could if the Warriors knife Clay in the back.
No, God, they certainly can't go to the Warriors.
Well, I understand, but
that's been on the board. He's from Oakland. It makes sense, but it's too super teamish.
If Jordan Poole had any trade value, maybe they could. Sorry.
Good news. An update on Odell Beckham Jr. And welcome back to the show. Antoine's here. Weekend in LA, Friday, a set of errors from AD. That missed closeout, foul. Then he missed this foul shot. Then he's like, well, this time I won't even guard Cleveland. That didn't work out. 3, game over. For the record, he did take responsibility, Brew. He said, you know what, that's my fault. So we turn our attention to yesterday. Bounce back game? Not really. 15 points. Austin Reeves did some damage. Let's look at the standings. Now, if you're a loyal viewer of this show, you would expect the Lakers to be in 6th place.
Thank you, Wiles.
Because
you're
Nick
right.
always mentions
he's going to deny it, but
with a certain machination, they could be in 6th place. They're not.
He's
I always
claimed
say,
that they're in 6 at times.
No, I've not. It's going to make me angry. I've never claimed they're in any position they're not in. I have simply said, and I said correctly, that if they beat the Mavs on Friday, when we got here Monday, they would be in 6th place. And now looking at those standings, you know, had they won that game, they'd be in 6th place. But they weren't able to do it because AD fell apart down the stretch. But Antoine, here's the thing. I can get over a bad 90 seconds of basketball. I can. Even in a game that big, I think you look at each thing individually. The foul on Kleba, he's trying to do too much there, right? That's too much effort. The missed free throw, everybody can miss a free throw. Now AD in the clutch this year has been terrible at the line, but anybody can miss a free throw. And then the final possession, yes, he fell asleep a bit, but also all of us watching thought Kyrie was taking that shot. We never thought Kyrie was ever getting rid of that basketball. Credit to Kyrie because he did it. So I can get over all that. What I can't get over is then Sunday sleepwalking through a game and needing Austin Reeves to save you against the Magic. So I am now to a point, Antoine, where you just can't count on Anthony Davis. He can be awesome. On any given night, he can look like, man, other than Giannis, I don't know who I'd rather have on both ends of the court. He can look like that. And then on any given night, he can be like, I think tonight I'd rather have rookie Paolo Banchero on my team. And that is so wildly frustrating.
I wouldn't take it that far, but that's been AD his whole career, though,
right.
if you really think about it. If you think about AD, obviously he had a resurgence when he went LeBron his first year, and LeBron brought winning out of him, and he, and got him to play at a very, very high level.
But why didn't that propel him? Winning that championship first year with LeBron, being around LeBron, having that success, why didn't that propel him to the next level?
Well, I think sometimes we want every guy to be, once they get that chip, you think they're going to now play at this certain level. I think if he was trying to prove people wrong, coming from New Orleans, playing with LeBron, it was a new situation. We all know how LeBron's a winner. He's not going to do nothing but preach nothing but winning to you. And, he's kind of went back to his old ways. I mean, and I love AD. He's from Chicago. I love him. But this has been his MO, whether or not he's going to be consistent about winning the championship. Because I think personally, if he plays at his level, he's probably top best three big man in the league, skill-wise.
Yeah.
Defensively and offensively.
Yeah.
But he doesn't give it night in and night out. And it's unfortunate. You can't turn it on and off in the league. It's not like he's going to turn it on in the playoffs. But he has moments that you get frustrated with him because he can have 35 and 15 for 3 games in a row.
Yep.
And then he comes back and have a situation like happens last night.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying about AD, that's the difference between the all-time, elite all-time greats, the superstars of every era, right? The LeBrons, the Stephs, guys like that. AD is just a superstar in this era, and he doesn't get it done every night. And Twan, like, I think you had that mentality where you had the number one mentality. You know, where you weren't afraid to carry that load and have the team, you be the guy on their team. I don't think AD wants that. He's a number one ability and number one talent, but I don't think he has the mentality to be a number one guy. I don't think he wants it, and I think that's why he didn't take the torch. I thought he would from LeBron in 2020. He didn't. I don't think he wants to, and I don't think he's cherishing, even though you don't like your best players being out, but a lot of guys will look at this like, for these 3 weeks LeBron's out, I'm carrying the team. All right, I'm going to put him on my back. I don't think he's looking at it that way.
Do you think it's that as simple as he doesn't want to get bounced around? I'll show you the shot.
Physically?
Yeah, here's the shot chart from the Mavericks game. A lot of green in the paint, a few X's. On the left side, there's one and a long three. But you can watch that game, he's aggressively taking the ball to the paint.
Yeah.
Here's the Magic game. Look at the left side of the screen. He was taking all these missed shots, and once he got the ball, he's like, dribble, step back. Dribble, step, like, just go the opposite way. Just go to the rim. I know it's a very simple analysis. But he doesn't feel like he wants contact.
But he plays